That shouldn't surprise any of us. But they went in there and absolutely obliterated the Connecticut Sun tonight. Caitlin Clark, big-time double-double. And before the game, Sophie Cunningham was asked about her comments that she made where she stood up for women's sport.
There are unspoken commandments in the realm of professional athletics that you violate at your own peril. You never poke a dormant beast. You avoid giving a transcendent prodigy any extra fuel. And crucially, you never deliver a cheap shot to the most trusted ally of a franchise savior. Clearly, the Connecticut Sun skipped that briefing. What transpired on the floor between the Indiana Fever and their Eastern Conference rivals wasn't a standard basketball matchup. It was a methodical, ruthless dismantling. This utter demolition will serve as a cautionary tale in film sessions for generations. The evening kicked off with an earth-shattering media revelation that sent shockwaves through the industry, will serve as a cautionary tale in a live broadcast catastrophe for the visiting squad. This contest hammered home one chilling truth to the entire WNBA revelation that sent shockwaves through the industry, will serve as a cautionary tale in a live broadcast catastrophe for the visiting squad. To grasp the scale of this hammered home one chilling truth to the entire WNBA revelation that sent shockwaves through the electric pregame environment in a live stadium wasn't actually for the visiting squad. To grasp the scale of this hammered home one chilling truth to the entire hours before tip-off that sent monumental paradigm shifting environment in a live stadium wasn't actually for the visiting squad. To grasp the
Not that you did a great job coaching, that you did a great job of getting the hell out of Caitlin Clark's way today. When the GOAT has the ball, there's nothing anybody can do. This was a masterclass. This is why she is the best show in the business. Must-see television. Caitlin Clark put on an absolute dominant performance versus the Connecticut Sun. 27 points, 11 assists. In just 27 minutes. Indiana Fever beat the absolute dog crap, beat the brakes off the Connecticut Sun, 123-80. Indiana Fever beat the
Caitlin Clark had just been crowned the solitary worldwide cover star for the deluxe edition of NBA 2K27. Pause and absorb the gravity of that milestone. We aren't discussing a regional marketing stunt, a digital exclusive variant, or a hidden store promotion. We are witnessing the inaugural moment. A WNBA competitor has commanded the premier sports gaming titan on an undisputed international stage. This amounted to an outright coronation. We are witnessing the inaugural sponsorship deal. Clark stepped onto the court already forged as an active myth, balancing the financial destiny and cultural relevance of the whole association. Her Fever locker room surged with the kind of euphoric momentum typically reserved for hoisting a championship trophy. The energy was immaculate, fueled by a roaring audience draped in custom gear and clutching homemade banners, entirely prepared to witness a spectacular highlight-packed triumph to honor their cornerstone's achievement. However, the Connecticut Sun made a catastrophic hubristic error in judgment. Strutting into the building, the visitors were sickened by the overwhelming spotlight fixed on Indiana. They refused to play the role of stepping stones on Clark's historic strutting into the building, act as mere extras in a video game promo. They actively embraced the antagonist role, aiming to sabotage the festivities and drag the Fever down into a brutal grinding slugfest. They incorrectly interpreted Indiana's celebratory mood as a weakness, marking the most devastating misstep they could ever conceive.
Athlete for NBA 2K27 Deluxe Edition. She's obsessed with the work. Pre-order NBA 2K27 now. I've taken a break from 2K. I haven't played 2K in the last 6 years. I'm not going to play. It's the same game, repackaged over and over again. But Caitlin Clark on the cover. Love to see it. Caitlin Clark on the cover. Absolutely loved it. This should have happened year one. This should have happened year two. But you know what? They're not just going to throw her on the WNBA edition like Angel Reese and Asia Wilson. She's not going to get a participation trophy like those two. Oh yeah, here you go, WNBA edition. Oh, really, for me? Nah, see, don't worry, Caitlin. Don't worry. In 25...
Frantic to unsettle the freshly crowned 2K icon, the Sun threw conventional game plans out the window and embraced a shockingly grimy approach. Music deep within their tactical breakdowns, they understood perfectly well that containing Clark's deep-range artillery was impossible. Nor did they possess the foot speed to match her supernatural court vision. Instead, Their objective shifted to crushing the squad's morale by going after the gritty anchor of Indiana's toughness, Sophie Cunningham. That is when Anna Morrow entered the frame. In a fiercely hostile, perilously careless, and entirely uncalled for collision that left home viewers roaring in outrage, Morrow leveled Cunningham. This was no ordinary battle for possession or a standard rebounding tangle beneath the basket. It was an intentional, aggressive message sender. A sequence that violently vaulted past tough, vintage defensive principles and landed squarely in the territory of blatant, unvarnished disrespect toward Cunningham.
She's been getting praise from anybody with half a brain cell today. No doubt about it. Now, right here, double technicals for Sanaya Rivers and Caitlin Clark, who exchanged words after a Connecticut foul. That's 7 technicals for Caitlin Clark. One more, and she will be suspended. I hope they rescind this one because I thought it was complete bullshit. You see that score, 123-88. The Indiana Fever set a record for points in the first half of a game with 70 tonight. Wow. Yeah, and Caitlin Clark started this game fast. She never really took her foot off the pedal at all. And I got to tell you, if teammates could have made some shots, she might have had 16, 17, 18 assists tonight. There were a lot of shots missed on passes that she made directly to her teammate.
Cunningham crashed onto the floorboards with a violent thud, the jarring noise reverberating straight into the announcers' headsets. For a terrifying, fleeting moment, the entire facility dropped into a suffocating hush. The collective breath of the crowd vanished as medical personnel shifted anxiously on the sidelines. The visiting locker room truly assumed they had accomplished their mission. Convinced this menacing display would shatter the Fever's swagger and derail their offensive flow. Yet, they fundamentally misunderstood the caliber of athlete they were testing. Sophie Cunningham isn't wired like your average competitor. She is an immovable, ferocious gladiator. Rather than writhing on the hardwood or signaling the training staff for a lifeline, she powered her way right back to her feet, unwilling to surrender even a fraction of an inch. She plunged immediately back into the fray, broadcasting an unmistakable warning that this Indiana squad cannot be rattled, shoved aside, or derailed by gutter tactics.
When they are playing in the CC style, Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell are an unguardable backcourt. Kelsey Mitchell's passing the ball. The girl shoots at an efficient clip. Aaliyah Boston had 20 points, 20 minutes. I mean, damn, they beat the hell out the Connecticut Sun. Let's get a look at these GOAT highlights, please. Please. Let's get into these GOAT highlights, man. They can't stop CC.
Look, people don't.
Let's take a look at these highlights, man. Caitlin Clark put on a show, loading up threes. First play of the game. Bang! Baghdad! First play of the game. Y'all can't stop her. Snatch back. Pull up from the parking lot. Pulled up from the parking lot where it's $50 to park at. Getting into the lane. And one. You can't stop her. They ain't even call it. Reverse is too easy for Caitlin Clark. She's unguardable. Another three. Baghdad! They can't stop her. She's pulling up. She's pulling up from Carver Hawkeye Arena. What a pass to Aaliyah Boston, man. Caitlin Clark can't be stopped. If you think there's anybody as good as in basketball as Caitlin Clark, you're either drunk, on drugs, you're delusional, you need to check into a mental ward, something is wrong. Pump fake, step back, cash. This girl's unguardable, man. The girl's unguardable. She hit, 5 threes in the first half, coming off. Look at that pad. Bounce pass to Aaliyah Boston and one. The best pick and roll.
However, the genuine looming catastrophe wasn't brewing within Cunningham. While the officials scrambled to blow their whistles and de-escalate the rapidly boiling tension, the national broadcast lenses pivoted to capture Caitlin Clark's face. That radiant, intensely marketable grin featured on the 2K27 promotional posters was completely wiped away. Every ounce of the pre-game jubilation evaporated, replaced instantaneously by a chilling glare of pure lethal hostility. Her vision was entirely zeroed in. She abstained from yelling at the refs, throwing her hands up, or staging a theatrical meltdown. She simply burned a hole through the Connecticut sideline with a de-eyed stare. The Sun remained blissfully ignorant, but in that precise fraction of a second, they had irreversibly sealed their own tragic fate. The subsequent display will be dissected by coaching staffs for decades as the absolute pinnacle of hardwood retribution. Clark flipped an invisible switch, tapping into an awe-inspiring dominant frequency rarely witnessed in the annals of the WNBA. The Fever morphed from running a standard offensive playbook into executing a flawless synchronized tactical bombardment. Clark began launching nearly bombs from the midcourt logo with a cold robotic precision that completely crushes a defender's spirit and extinguishes their desire to play. Whenever Connecticut desperately tweaked their schemes, attempted a frantic pick-and-roll trap, or hurled two bodies her way, she exposed them as utterly comical. She threaded the needle with blind behind-the-back lasers, carving up their defensive shell like a premier surge and executing a masterpiece. The contest evolved into a blazing track meet, controlled exclusively by Clark's tempo. She puppeteered the entire hardwood, making highly compensated professional athletes look like immobile training dummies in a rec league. You could visibly track the sheer undeniable terror bleeding into the expressions of the Sun roster. They were hyperventilating, completely buried, and physically shattered. They found themselves locked inside a self-inflicted horror story, masterminded by a generational talent who denied them even a droplet of mercy.
Who appears on the Standard Edition, and former NBA MVP Derrick Rose, who was featured on the Ultra Edition, honoring his legendary career. The moment shows off another significant achievement for Clark, who has become one of the biggest faces in basketball since entering the WNBA. Caitlin Clark calls NBA 2K27 cover pretty surreal. Speaking with Bleacher Report after the announcement, Clark admitted receiving the cover honor was something she never imagined as a child. Quote, "It's pretty cool and pretty surreal," Clark said. "As a kid growing up, you're always watching to see who's going to be on the next cover of 2K. She also emphasized what the recognition means for women's basketball. Quote, "I think it's cool to see where the women's game is at this point too. People are getting excited about what the women's game can bring." Clark said she hopes seeing a WNBA player featured prominently in one of the world's most popular sports video games inspires the next generation of young athletes. Quote, "Hopefully young kids love it, and hopefully it can show a lot of young girls too about what they can achieve one day." The Fever guard also reflected on sharing the spotlight with Rose and Wembanyama, calling it an honor she doesn't take lightly. She revealed she first met with Rose while attending a basketball tournament in 7th grade and called Wembanyama one of her favorite NBA players, recalling that the Spurs star once gifted her a game-worn signed jersey that remains one of her favorite collectibles. Damn, they gave Sophie Cunningham a 78 in 2K? I want to see what that three-point percentage rating's looking like. I want to see what that three-point percentage is looking like. Okay.
When the final horn mercifully echoed to halt the carnage, the jumbo screen displayed what looked like a typographical error. 23-88. Let that sink in. 23-88. It was a flawless, undeniable massacre broadcast to the masses. Clark didn't merely defeat her opponents. She stripped them of their pride, erupting for a historic 27 points alongside 11 dimes. This perfect double-double was engineered entirely out of vengeance, fierce loyalty, and raw supremacy. It served as a devastating warning concealed inside a breathtaking athletic masterclass. The decree echoed. Clark didn't merely stand up for Cunningham. She lifted the entire Indiana organization, showcasing to the athletic universe that this locker room operates as an unbreakable, stand-up, tight-knit family willing to go to war for one another. Indiana organization. This specific mental fortitude is precisely why the video game executive selected her to champion their global brand. It extends far beyond her staggering box scores or impossible shooting range. It is anchored in an elite championship mindset, and a commander who absolutely refuses to tolerate disrespect under her watch.
Up her 7th technical foul because we got bums on the Connecticut Sun. Diamond Miller, you played a good game. You talking trash. You're down 30. You fouling Caitlin Clark after the whistle. When we walk into our benches for timeouts, you're still grabbing and fouling. All this stuff. You got Sanaya Rivers trash talking. You down 30. Look at the scoreboard. Caitlin Clark told her, look at the scoreboard, bum. Caitlin Clark gets a 7 technical. Check this out.
And the jawing continuing.
She told her, look at the scoreboard. You doing all that trash talking. Look at the scoreboard. Sanaya Rivers was the one starting all of that. Caitlin Clark gets a bogus 7 technical foul. Trash talking, and you down by 30. You down by 30, Sanaya Rivers. You look like a straight clown. Straight clown. You down by 30. You getting belt to ass, but you talking trash. That's why you're not good. That's why the Connecticut Sun stink. Like, it is what it is, man. Let's get into the stats for the Indiana Fever, because they played a hell of a game. The big three was on point, man. Aaliyah Boston, 22 points, 10 of 14. With her 22 points, 5 assists, 6 rebounds in just 20 minutes. Kelsey Mitchell, 9 of 16, 3 of 6 from 3. She had 23 points, 10 of 14, 4 rebounds. With her 22 points, 5 assists, 27 points, and 11 assists in just 27 minutes. Now, I'm telling you right now, if Caitlin Clark would have played in this fourth quarter, she would have had 40.
When the smoke finally cleared from the arena, Caitlin Clark exited the building, clutching the worldwide 2K27 mantle in one hand, dragging the shattered, lifeless morale of the Connecticut Sun in the other. Every remaining contender in the association has been officially warned. The path to the trophy runs directly through Indiana, and if any team intends to deploy underhanded tricks along that journey, they must brace themselves for the apocalyptic retaliation that will inevitably follow. This marked a watershed chapter in athletic lore, seamlessly merging colossal industry headlines with raw, unbridled competitive theater. The Sun wagered against the Fever's primary enforcer and suffered the maximum penalty, sparking one of the most explosive individual performances ever documented. Thank you for diving into this comprehensive recap. Be sure to smash that subscribe icon, activate your notifications so you never miss a split second of the drama, and stick around for our next thorough breakdown of the wildest sagas in the sports. A split second of the drama, and stick around for our next thorough breakdown of the wildest sagas in the sports. A split second of the drama, and stick around for our next thorough breakdown of the wildest sagas in the sports. A split second of the drama, and stick around for our next thorough breakdown of the wildest sagas in the sports. A split second of the drama, and stick around for our next thorough breakdown of the wildest sagas in the sports. A split second of the drama, and stick around for our next thorough breakdown of the wildest sagas in the sports. A split second of the drama, and stick around for our next
organization. It's a complete circus and a clown show. Now look, I don't know, we got to go through what Bree Turner is alleging versus the Indiana Fever organization. It's a response to Sophie Cunningham and a clown show. Now look, I don't know, we got to go through what Bree Turner is alleging. Sophie Cunningham blasted.
The highly anticipated 2026 WNBA All-Star festivities in Chicago were engineered to serve as the ultimate crowning achievement for women's professional basketball, fueled by tens of millions of dollars from powerful television networks and massive corporate backers. League officials anticipated a prestige, glittering showcase of their billion-dollar enterprise, banking on athletes to maintain perfect public relations smiles while ignoring the highly anticipated 2026 WNBA All-Star festivities in Chicago were engineered to serve as the ultimate crowning achievement for women's professional crumbling into dust, fueled by tens of millions of dollars from powerful television networks and massive corporate backers undergoing a violent implosion. A weekend meant for celebrations as a billion-dollar enterprise. Absolute wars are characterized by explosive hyperventilation smiles while ignoring the highly anticipated top-tier talent WNBA All-Star studies in Chicago were engineered to serve as a locker room as outrageous whistleblowers gambled their livelihood, fueled by tens of millions of dollars from powerful television networks and massive corporate backers undergoing a violent implosion. The most dominant demonstration has unearthed the baldness with absolute force and association by mere showcasing malicious smiles or restoring the environment chaos and financial adversary way and Chicago and unleashed survey undergoing disclosed to the public eye, ensuring the sport will never return to its own state. To grasp the true nature of this violent rupture, one must peer beyond the statistical leaderboards and plunge into the heavily fortified, venomous administrative environment, where athletes were historically viewed as disposable unrealistic forces rendered physical punishment on the margin while maintaining the absolute silence about institutional practices, the warriors association by mere shadows and malicious smiles or restoring the environment chaos and financial adversary way and Chicago and unleashed survey undergoing disclosed to the public eye, ensuring the sport will never return to its own state. To grasp the true nature of this violent rupture, one must peer beyond the statistical leaderboards and plunge into the heavily fortified, venomous administrative environment, where athletes were historically viewed as unrealistic forces rendered physical punishment on the margin while maintaining the absolute silence about institutional practices, the warriors association by mere shadows and malicious smiles or restoring the environment chaos and financial adversary way and Chicago and unleashed survey undergoing disclosed to the public eye, ensuring the sport will never return to its own state. To grasp the true nature of this violent rupture, one must peer beyond the statistical leaderboards and plunge into the heavily fortified, venomous administrative environment, where athletes were historically viewed as unrealistic forces rendered physical punishment on the margin while maintaining the absolute silence about institutional practices, the warriors association by mere shadows initially actively qualifying accusations surrounding the Indiana Fever franchise were mostly shadowed by harsh threats, also faced respective and internal detonating massive bombshells on social platforms. She laid bare a genuinely terrifying scenario involving male organizational employees who quietly terminated during the previous campaign for sexual misconduct. Yet, the historical lies not just the initial transgressions, but the campaign has a series of revelations. Franchise executives expressed concern of their on-air initially actively qualifying accusations surrounding television personal trauma and were mostly hired their deal under their $1 multi-million reputation that has transferred detonating massive robotics on social platforms. She laid bare a genuinely terrifying scenario in dodging any specific questions about the actual eliminated during this previous campaign for sexual reality for the athletes. The true gender lies in the administrative transgression more concerned with hiding massive controversies and preserving their own paychecks and safeguarding the mental and physical welfare of very executives expressing of their on-air initially executive qualifying accusations regarding these institutional cover-ups the other side during the multi-month vile reputation that has characterized WNBA's entire social framework was fundamentally compromised from the scenario for dodging easily pursuing questions malicious onshore teachers to the executives who eliminated sexuality to the athletes that feature and lies all over the desert research from relentless journalists who invested audacity to directly challenge the paychecks and safeguard defense of welfare of very executives and by other teams.
And you are suing your high school because they allow biological boys in the locker room with you, and you can come around it.
I didn't even know this part. So this young lady right here is suing her high school for letting biological boys into the female locker room. This is crazy.
And my students are girls on other teams. And you are suing your high school because they allow biological boys in the locker room with you, and you can come around it. Biological boys in the locker room.
Yeah, so I stood up at the school board meeting and said that I think this is inappropriate and boys shouldn't be allowed to share bathrooms and similar spaces like that. And I kind of got shut down, so they said that if you want to take a step forward, you have to sue the school. And so that's what we did.
Wow. And
Yo, this is crazy. Wait a minute.
yeah, so I stood up at the school board meeting and said that I think this is inappropriate and boys shouldn't be allowed to share bathrooms and similar spaces like that. And I kind of got shut down, so
Enter the fiercely intimidating Phoenix Mercury enforcer, Sophie Cunningham, an athlete who built her formidable legacy on an absolute refusal to yield or retreat from any adversary or obstacle in her path. Whether she is absorbing a vicious blow to the face in the painted area or aggressively confronting a rival, She fundamentally lacks a flinch reflex, and the moment she caught wind of these suppressed harassment reports, her restraint entirely vanished. Behind-the-scenes sources indicate the seasoned veteran was consumed by pure outrage as she observed the paralyzed executives and their total absence of accountability, ultimately deciding to launch an all-out offensive against the establishment, stepping up not merely for herself but emerging as the definitive leader for a thoroughly exhausted and enraged collective. She fiercely mobilized both seasoned pros and fresh drafts to send an undeniable message that these women refuse to be utilized as mere promotional props for corporate benefactors. While their fundamental safety is continuously jeopardized, marching proverbial demands straight to the commissioner's doorstep, she delivered an uncompromising and savage ultimatum, making it crystal clear that the roster was permanently finished, hiding the administration's catastrophic blunders. By choosing rebellion over compliance, she effectively struck the flint that would swiftly incinerate the entire 2026 All-Star gathering down to its very foundations.
But I don't think that she would come out and just lie. Like, it would be really weird if she came out and lied about this, saying a male staffer, for her to make it up. I don't think she would make it up. But this is definitely in response to Sophie Cunningham saying biological men should not be playing in women's sports, point blank, period. Okay. And she came out and threw the Indiana Fever. Sophie Cunningham, who just spoke about this in the Indiana Fever pregame, through the Indiana Fever. Yo, this is crazy. And if the Indiana Fever did tell people to be quiet about and all that, that's foul. That's nasty work. And everybody should be held accountable from the top down. From the top down. They should be held accountable. Okay. Cheryl Reeves said, of course it weighs on me. The attacks on trans people. Everything that they've gone through makes it seem like it's got way more aggressive. It's sort of sickening.
Empowered by this fearless vanguard, and with the organization's rotten internal dynamics completely unmasked, the subsequent chain reaction unfolded with frightening velocity as the globe's most lucrative and recognizable basketball icons finalized a historically unified strategy. They resolved to strike the association directly in its financial jugular by completely abandoning the massively hyped 2026 three-point shootout, transforming a marquee television spectacle designed to mint millions into an incredibly humiliating, desolate wasteland. The sport's unquestionable marquee attraction and the most bankable asset in women's basketball history, Caitlin Clark rattled the entire athletic community to its core when she abruptly opted out of the proceedings entirely. Officially rejecting her spot in the perimeter showcase, she adamantly refused to associate her globally recognized brand with the commissioner's rapidly disintegrating, profoundly disorganized administrative
yet they are always trending topic. Unfortunately, I'm in my 8th season as a WNBA player. To date, there's been one out trans player in the league. They caused 0 problems. An issue that has caused problems, though, last year on my WNBA team, a male staffer was fired for sexual harassment because we were encouraged to keep quiet about it. That is an issue. Sexism, misogyny, homophobia, and racism are all issues. There are many sex variations, and then she went into the whole thing. Okay, from my time in my undergrad at Notre Dame, I took many courses where I became better educated on trans community. My studies have led me to be inclusive. Okay. Now this whole rant, she said, I know people speaking about trans inclusion as a recipe for hate in such an awful platform, but I would much rather the hate come my way instead of the trans community, and my mentions are off anyway. If you are interested in supporting the trans community or becoming more knowledgeable about how they are constantly under attack, some of my favorite nonprofits, and then she listed them and yada, yada, yada. Now, this is all in response to what Sophie Cunningham doubled down on saying today. Check this out.
On that same vein, in that story with ESPN, you talked about wanting to protect young girls who shouldn't have to go against biological men. Just can you expand your viewpoint on that?
I mean, I think I said what I said. I think it's kind of common sense. And I think I'll always believe in that. I think it's really important to protect children. And that's little girls who are also involved in that category. And so I
Broadcast executives were immediately seized by absolute panic, fully aware that a broadcast devoid of their primary superstar would result in a catastrophic viewership collapse. Yet, the unfolding disaster was merely getting started, adding to the widespread fan bewilderment. Reigning title holder Sabrina Ionescu is also glaringly missing from the participant list, further cementing the front office's image of desperate incompetence right before sharpshooting veteran Kayla McBride unleashed a public tirade against the league's brass, openly trashing what she deemed a completely half-hearted outreach effort. She aggressively highlighted the profound disrespect and sheer chaos trickling down from the highest levels of management, music, The overarching statement was devastatingly clear as transcendent playmakers and battle-tested veterans united to establish an immovable boundary, refusing to print money for an institution that conveniently ignores chronic workplace misconduct. Music. This situation has escalated far beyond a simple failed promotional event into a comprehensive institutional meltdown for an institution that conveniently ignores chronic meticulously curated kingdom disintegrate before their eyes as the workforce beyond a simple failed promotional event. These women are permanently rejecting the antiquated expectations where they were forced to display gratitude for a modest salary while higher-ups shielded bad actors and ignored vicious physical assaults on the floor. Meanwhile, the powerful financial backers who injected hundreds of millions into this promised athletic revolution are currently barricaded in frantic emergency meetings, viciously interrogating the commissioner over a catastrophic public relations inferno birth from pure ineptitude. They are fiercely demanding to know why their premier broadcast is being actively boycotted and why the athletes are forced to depend on fierce peers just to secure basic locker room safety while the central office remains completely demanding to know why their premier broadcast is being actively boycotted and why the athletes are forced to depend on fierce peers just to secure basic
what they do, and that makes it difficult. So, yeah, you can look at standings and run that in the league, but when you do that in this league, you're going to get beat by 50. And so, we are coordinating a break, and we cannot take this game lightly at all. And so, we have to come out with following our scout and our game plan offensively, making them play us and doing what we do. But, you know, we do not take this game lightly at all. And so, we have to come out with following our scout and our game plan offensively, making them play us and doing what we do. I really don't care. I know that sounds bad, and I'm not trying to come off like that, but I do think, you know, everyone always is coming at it as a negative. Well, me coming out with that, there's so many people who are coming out with the positive, saying, you know, finally someone has said something, and I don't really look at either side of those because I know whatever I say, I'm going to get hate, and I'm going to get love, and if I'm going to finally live by the love, I'm going to die by the hate, and that's just not who I am. I beat my own drum, and so people are always going to have something to say. You could win a championship and get paid, and I'm going to be the best at whatever it is, and there's still people who are going to hate on you, and so that's just what this world is. So I'm confident in who I am. I'm proud of who I am. I'm happy being me. I'm not going to compete. I'm going to be the best at whatever it is, and there's still people who are going to hate on you, and so that's just what this world is. So I'm confident in who I am. I'm proud of who I am. You know, I think I've always kind of been able to, you know, handle that type of pressure, I would say, and the type of eyes and the type of people who have comments. And like I said, there's going to be some negative comments, but there's also a bunch of positive comments too that don't really ever, I would say, you know, people hate politics, and sometimes I have no idea why, but there's a lot of positive comments too when it comes to that. And so, you know, it is what it is. Like I said, we're all human. No one's perfect here, and so I really don't care what other people have to say. I know who I am. My people know who I am, and hopefully I'm doing them proud and, you know, making room for young boys and girls in our world to have a better future.
The commanding officer of the association is currently sitting atop an actively detonating explosive, completely exposed after her veteran administration foolishly believed they could control this massive surge in popularity, utilizing the exact same venomous, antiquated tactics of previous decades, assuming the locker rooms would simply bow their heads and comply was a fatal league-altering surge that has officially placed the sport past any conceivable point of return. Fed up with being muzzled regarding sexual misconduct and surviving within a dangerously flawed infrastructure, the absolute brightest luminaries in the game are completely boycotting the grandest stage available, spearheaded by the relentless fury of their enforcers and the unmatched bargaining power of their transcendent point guards. The competitors have forcefully reclaimed their agency. The organization, as we currently know it, is irreparably shattered, leaving Kathy Angelberg and her executive staff to face a towering, unstoppable rebellion from furious enforcers while their most sinister institutional secrets are paraded before a global audience. I absolutely need to hear your unvarnished thoughts on this colossal, unprecedented sporting catastrophe as it unfolds in real time. Do you support this courageous locker room uprising? And do you genuinely believe the association can ever recover from this devastating superstar strike? Unleash your most brutally honest takes in the comment section below and ensure you crush that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell to catch every single explosive update on this rapidly developing crisis.
Of jealousy that is permeating throughout this entire league toward Caitlin Clark is nasty work.
Subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell to catch every
consume Burns podcast,
on this rapidly developing
and
crisis.
you can see it on jealousy that is permeating throughout the telecast toward Caitlin Clark's sickness. She has, when it comes to Caitlin Clark, but she's still alive. Damn, on Burns podcast,
rapidly developing crisis.
What the hell happened to you?
For months, the mainstream sports press and the WNBA power structure spent months trying to convince the public of one enormous, carefully packaged story. From partially to the offset, commentators stared into the lens and insisted the hostility was found. And all the staples of this WNBA power structure spent were nothing more than ordinary had one enormous, carefully packaged story. Though everything inside the league was to be healthy, commentators stared into the uncomfortable and insisted the hostility was found. And all the staples of this WNBA power structure were nothing hard and nothing more sinister was happening. Carefully packaged story. Everything inside the league for so long, commentators stared into the uncomfortable and insisted the hostility. Then came the moment that sent the WNBA conversation into complete chaos and lit up social media, and nothing more than the carefully maintained image finally cracked with caged booers, one of the biggest names in women's basketball and a player many believe the media, the next superstar, appeared to acknowledge feelings of jealousy. Yet that admission was only the beginning of the drama. While critics argued, complained, and searched for explanations on podcasts, music, Clark did not release a carefully worded statement or fire back through social media. Instead, she arrived at All-Star Weekend, activated another level, and played with the aggression of someone determined to take control of the entire event. From the opening night, she seized the attention surrounding the MVP discussion, and turned the league's premier showcase into a stage built around her presence. And as surprising as the comments connected to Brookers may have seemed, they were nothing compared with the uncomfortable contrast Angel Reeve faced under the brightest possible spotlight. Keep watching closely because the league's hidden emotions were suddenly visible to everyone. And after this moment, pretending otherwise became nearly impossible.
You know, when you be watching like Law and Order, and they got evidence in different cases they gotta lay out on the table. Don't go nowhere. We got a bunch of little evidence here, okay? Look at this. I see a lot of Paige Beckers fans talk about how she can't stand Caitlin Clark. This might help y'all understand why. Jealousy and envy, not easy emotions to deal with. Take a listen at what Paige Beckers had to say here.
And then it just felt like women's basketball just took the world by storm, and rightfully so. So I'm not, and I felt bad because I felt like jealous in a way, and I felt like envious, and I've never been that type of person.
I felt jealous and I felt envious. Now, when she talks about women's basketball taking over, who is she talking about? Caitlin Clark.
To understand why league executives and longtime insiders appeared so unsettled, you have to examine the battle for attention unfolding away from the scoreboard. Music, many of these athletes have been dominant since childhood. They were the stars of their schools, the leaders of their teams, and the players accustomed to controlling every room they entered. Then a guard from Iowa arrived and instantly altered the center of gravity for the entire sport. Arenas began filling. Charter travel became a major issue. Merchandise moved rapidly and television audiences reached levels the league had chased for years. Yet, the public was not crediting the established veterans for that explosion. Most of the attention was centered on number 22. During a widely discussed media appearance, the weight of Clark's popularity, commercial influence, charter travel and became a major issue seemed to break through the usual public relations language. Bucker spoke about jealousy and envy while discussing the attention surrounding Clark, then attempted to redirect the conversation toward broader questions about compensation in women's sports. Rather than removing Clark from the discussion, the shift only highlighted how difficult it had become to avoid acknowledging her enormous financial impact. This was bigger than an awkward comment or poorly phrased response. To many viewers, it sounded like confirmation of what supporters had argued since Clark entered the professional league. The hostility was not solely about defensive schemes, physical basketball, or ordinary competition. It was also tied to status, pride, endorsement money, packed buildings, signature shoe agreements, and worldwide recognition suddenly flowing toward one newcomer. For months, league defenders dismissed any suggestion that resentment was influencing the treatment Clark received. But that single exchange appeared to expose the very emotion they had worked so hard to deny.
Why do women deserve more money?
Women should have more money because they have period cramps. They need to give birth.
because she's got multiple messages to send to people. One of them is not to be believed. You're going to hear this and you're going to be like, wait a minute, let me get this straight. You think because of this you deserve more money and more accolades and more? Nah. But yet all we hear from the players in this league is we want to be treated like a man, so much that it seems like 70% of the league acts like they're men. Lord knows they're trying to let biological men into the league. And we got Paige Beckers admitting that she's jealous. She's envious of the popularity that Caitlin Clark's got. I mean, yeah, I guess give her credit for two things. Actually admitting it, and the second thing being actually not trying to beat the crap out of Caitlin Clark. I mean, we can't say this. I've never heard Paige Beckers say anything, technically speaking, that's venomous, I don't think, towards Caitlin Clark. I don't remember anything. All right.
And to be completely fair, Paige Beckers is an outstanding basketball player. But when Clark finds herself surrounded by skeptical media coverage, visible resentment from competitors, and an environment eager to minimize her influence, how does a truly rare athlete answer? She does it by dominating where nobody can edit the result on the court. Before the WNBA All-Star event, the league's preferred storylines seemed designed to celebrate the veterans and reinforce the existing order. It was supposed to be their showcase, their opportunity to remind viewers that the established stars still controlled the league. Clark entered that setting and immediately tore through the planned narrative. From the instant she stepped onto the hardwood, her energy looked different. She was not merely participating in an exhibition. Every possession felt like a warning delivered to players and critics across the country. Each heavily contested shot from several feet behind the arc carried the force of a direct response to everyone who had questioned her. Every unexpected pass through a narrow defensive window reminded viewers that her vision operates at a speed most players cannot match. Behind the arc carried she processed movement before it fully developed, manipulated defenders with her eyes, and created opportunities that seemed impossible until the ball reached a teammate's hands. The more pressure placed on her, the more comfortable she appeared, and the louder the conversation became, the more determined she looked to control it through performance rather than words.
And that type of person where I don't want other people to succeed.
The action with such overwhelming confidence that the crowd seemed to lose awareness of nearly everyone else on the floor.
I just want great for people.
Accomplished all-stars began
I've
feeling
always thought showing light on others doesn't diminish your own. I feel like iron sharpens iron, and I just feel like really happy for people who are succeeding, because I know how hard it is to be at this level and how much work it takes and how much resilience and dedication and sacrifice.
So she admitted that took over. We already know why. It's not because of nobody in the WNBA that was already there. This is in college. This is in college. When Caitlin Clark took over, she felt jealous. Now, take a look at this. Paige Beckers was pissed while Caitlin Clark was talking about her signature shoes. Now, take a look at Paige Beckers' face while Caitlin Clark is talking about her signature shoes.
Caitlin, I'm curious, did you hook up any teammates or anybody with the shoe? Or,
Courtney Williams is rocking them tonight, which, I've had multiple people ask for them. I only have size 9 right now.
Look at her face. Look at her face.
So they're actually playing in my samples.
Look at her face. She don't want nothing to do with it. She don't want nothing to do with this. She don't want to hear about no damn Caitlin Clark shoes. She been jealous of this girl since college.
Size 2. Both have them on. Both of the boats have them on. So, yeah, this is a pretty fun pair. And you're looking at, I think it's like Valentine's Day edition. You got the charm on there. But I was going to wear some all white ones. I'm like, that's not fun enough. We got to break out some. Look at Paige Beckers' face. She's still jealous.
Some fire,
so cute with the color. The ombre matches the jersey. You mentioned teammates, right? You both have teammates you're participating with. What have you loved?
Now, watch this. You gotta pay attention to the signs, man. The signs be right there in your face. The signs are right.
Supporting characters inside an event increasingly centered on her. By the conclusion of the night, the league could no longer avoid recognizing who generated the greatest excitement surrounding the weekend. For Clark's critics, it represented the outcome they had feared most. The audience, music, cameras, and conversation all gravitated toward the same player they had spent months attempting to diminish. The MVP storyline appeared attached to her from the moment she emerged from the tunnel. She did more than outperform the opposition. She challenged them mentally by demonstrating that resentment, criticism, and physical treatment could not erase exceptional talent. But this is where the story gained an even sharper twist. And it is the contrast league promoters would rather avoid discussing. While Clark was delivering a showcase, attracting attention, and strengthening her place in the sport's rapidly changing history, another highly promoted figure was experiencing a much more difficult night. As the player framed as Clark's greatest rival struggled to match the moment, Angel Reed drew attention for missed attempts around the basket, creating an uncomfortable side-by-side comparison while millions of viewers were watching.
Human beings in the world, and we carry so much on our shoulders. I feel like we're fearless.
I'm gonna keep it real. Casual sports fans, we don't want to hear that crap. I mean, we just don't. We don't want to hear it. We want to watch you play as an athlete. We don't want to hear about your once a month situation. Sorry, we don't want to hear about it.
Of jealousy that is permeating throughout this entire league toward Caitlin Clark.
This thing I've ever seen. Paige Becker's on being jealous of Cece.
And then it just felt like women's basketball just took the world by storm, and rightfully so. So I'm not, and I felt bad because I felt like jealous in a way, and I felt like envious, and I've never been that type of person where I don't want other people to succeed. Like, I want everyone around me to succeed, like, more than I want myself to succeed. Like, I just want great for people. I want, like, I've always thought, like, showing light on others doesn't diminish your own. Like, I feel like iron sharpens iron, and I just feel like really happy for people who are succeeding, because I know how hard it is to be at this level and how much work it takes and how much resilience and dedication and sacrifice.
I mean, yeah, it's wild. The jealousy is from the top down. The WNBA hates Clark. They can't stand that it took a white, straight female to make the league known. They hate it. Darnell, they hate it. Yeah, they're livid about it. When your lifeblood of your league, in your opinion, is at your activism and your sexual preference and your skin color.
The difference between the two performances became impossible to ignore. While spectators
Jealousy that is
goodness. The
I guess I do understand why you admitted to being
the
jealous. Take a
Indiana
look at this.
Fever organization,
Paige admitting her
it's
jealousy
a
and envy
complete
for Caitlin is
circus
exactly
and a
what
clown
we've been
show.
telling y'all.
Now look,
There's
I don't
nothing
know.
wrong with
we
jealousy.
gotta go through what
but when you
Bree
turn
Turner
it into
is
bitterness,
Oh
jealousy
my
that
goodness. The